against at 165, Johny Henricks. And like I said, he loves the stage. He hardly ever disappoints in the big time.
Taking on Matt Nagel,
who he lost to in the NWCA All-Star meet, but Henricks was so tired he could hardly stand up right there, and that turned around the national duels a month ago. Of course, the NWCA All-Star doesn't technically count against you in your college record.
Well, Henricks comes out smoking. He won that match against Nagel at the national duels 8-3.
See what Nagel will do. I mean, Henricks there, and you know, Jimmy Ramirez called stalling, and Henricks, his power and his push just called that, along with maybe the coaching staff from Oklahoma State. But that happens in wrestling. And you know, Nagel, he is strong and controlled, and he loves to pull on the head, and he'll do that. But Henricks, he's wide open. Not necessarily the greatest shots, not the greatest moves. He just wins.
Doing so far except for one warning for stalling against Nagel.
See, Nagel, he likes to get on that head. He likes to pull on you, and he's not offensive by any means, but he is offensive in another way. And that is, you know, he likes to pull and push and then get his opponent into making mistakes. He does that as well as anyone.
Keep a foot in bounds.
And that's a new rule in the last couple of years. That's a good rule. Until your last pinky or toe comes off that mat, you're in bounds. And so that gives the aggressor, like Johny Henricks right there, the opportunity to score. It's kind of like if I was going to score, wow, Jim Ramirez just called Nagel for stalling. That's fast. And it's a style there. Nagel pulling on Henricks. Henricks is pushing, and it has gained him 2 warnings for stalling, and now a point against him.
Henricks certainly has been the most aggressive of the two here in the first period. But that's his style.
I was going to say, his style is to look aggressive, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Nagel's style is to pull on the head, push, and it's his own offense. And now right there, Nagel had Henricks to the outside. Nagel, the number 9 ranked wrestler, Henricks the number 2. The defending champion, only a junior, Johny Henricks. Henricks out of Edmond, Oklahoma, 2-time All-American. Nagel from Frazee, Minnesota, Frazee High School. It's a frustrating time for Nagel right now because he's trying to figure, okay, can I do my own offense without getting called for stalling? And so he's going to have to figure it out. It's a game of thinking as well. Hey, if the official doesn't like it, you got to change.
First period comes to a close. A couple of stalls against Nagel cost him a point. Now you look back at the championship last year, and Johny Henricks for Mark Perry.
Perry from Stillwater, Oklahoma, and he went up to Iowa, and he is John Smith's nephew, and is in the Hawkeye uniform. And there is Johny Henricks lifting up Coach Smith after he won. An exciting wrestler. He loves to get excited. That's Johny Henricks.
Back here to the live action. Nagel with a point.
Or the escape. But he's the one with the stalling calls on him. He has got to make the official not like the way that Henricks is wrestling. He's got to keep Henricks on the outside. Henricks does a great job of circling right there, putting the onus on Nagel again. And Nagel's got to be careful. He cannot circle to the outside without Ramirez getting on him. Little headgear problem. And what Nagel has to do right here, he can't just push and pull like he likes to do. He needs to try something like an inside single. He needs to change his level and get in on the legs of Johny Henricks. Is for nothing else to change the mind of the official. there's 2 shots to each of them. Man. I tell you what. I hate to see an official dictate and change a match that way. But another warning against Nagel, and that was another point. The next time it's 2 points. Henricks in on the shot right after that, and it looks like he's going to be close to getting 2. Nagel trying to slip around. Nagel sees where he's at, and they go out of bounds. And they are saying out of bounds, but the elbow of Johny Henricks was in. The official was looking outside instead of inside and missed the call.
So far, the scoring is all as a result of stalling, except for the one escape by Nagel.
It's all officials' points right here, and that's just too bad with 2 wrestlers this caliber, and just 2 different styles right now. Henricks trying to get Oklahoma State back into it. Always does a great job of competing in the big show. Nagel doing a nice job himself, and he's just got to fight, keep himself in a position to win. And now Henricks hot dogging. That's all you can say. He's kind of taunting him. And, you know.
So 2 periods in the books. Johny Henricks with a 2-1 advantage going into the 3rd and maybe final period. Henricks will start on the bottom this time.
Nice job of hip highs out there. Henricks, great job from underneath. Gets his hips away, turns in for the escape. Great technique by Johny Henricks there, coming out from underneath.
He's out of play.
Except for stalling calls, the score would be 1-1 right now. But 3 stalling calls against Nagel. You got to give Henricks. I mean, he read the mind of the official before he went out there and said, "Man, if I push, I shove, I'm going to get the calls as far as the action is concerned." And that's the advantage for someone like Johny Henricks and his style. We said last time these guys met, Henricks won, and then he is coming close to getting another takedown. Nice job by Nagel right there, getting the hits on top of the head right there. Makes it too hard for Johny Henricks to pick it up, and they're going to have to call a stalemate. Great counter by Nagel there. Henricks was in on a great single, looked like he was going to take him down. Nagel came back with a counter to draw a stalemate. They wrestled 5 times. Henricks is 4-1 against Nagel. You got to give Henricks credit there. He knows where he's at. He knows how the match is being called, and he just kept coming at the edge of the mat. That's good heads-up wrestling.
Less than 30 seconds now.
The way the rules are now, you cannot get lackadaisical on the edge. Now here's what Henricks should not be able to do, and that's slap him in the face like he just did, and do something that can be construed as unsportsmanlike, because he doesn't need to do that. But that's just, you know, his way. And I think John Smith's saying, be careful. Be careful. He doesn't want a team point going against him. He's saying, act like you've been here before, because you have. You're a winner. And it looks like he's going to do it again.
Yep, Johny Henricks is going to come away with the win here. An important 3 points for Oklahoma State. He's shaking his head a little bit. You've got the feeling that Henricks wanted more than just a 3-1 victory over Matt Nagel. But Henricks gets a win nonetheless, and John Smith now left scratching his head. His team is still trailing by 4, but Johny Henricks able to win at 165 pounds. That makes it 13-9 overall, and Henricks still not happy. Brandon Mason is coming up next at 174 against Gabriel Dretsch. Up minute.